Think about someone you know, maybe a close friend, maybe a coworker. They have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. They scroll everything. They watch your stories. They know what's happening in your life. But their profile? Almost nothing. And when people ask why, they give you some version of the same answer. I just don't feel the need. It's not really my thing. And everyone around them has an opinion. You're so mysterious. Just post something. It's not a big deal. What are you hiding? But here's what nobody tells you. It is a big deal, just not in the way people assume. Because what's actually happening here isn't antisocial behavior. It isn't insecurity, and it definitely isn't hiding. It's something far more psychologically layered. And once you understand it, you'll never look at someone's empty profile the same way again. Psychologists studying digital behavior have started calling this group digital abstainers, people who are fully online, completely aware, and actively choosing not to perform their lives on it. Their reasons fall into 4 distinct profiles, and they get more interesting the deeper you go. The first profile is what researchers call a high need for privacy and autonomy. These people have an unusually strong internal sense of self. They don't require external validation to feel secure. For them, posting a photo doesn't feel like sharing. It feels like exposure, like handing something intimate to an audience that hasn't earned it. They knew what they did on vacation. They don't need 300 likes to confirm it was meaningful. They're not antisocial. They're just unwilling to perform. The second profile is about ownership. This person has an almost visceral need to control their own narrative. Sharing a moment publicly feels like giving something away, surrendering a piece of an experience to the algorithm, to strangers, to judgment. These are the people who will describe their trip to you in vivid detail, over coffee, in person, enthusiastically. But post a photo? Never. The experience belongs to them. That's not coldness, that's ownership. The third profile runs a constant, almost unconscious cost-benefit analysis. Every post carries a hidden tax, the emotional labor of waiting for responses, the distraction of notifications, the slow anxiety of being misread. They've done the math. The return isn't worth the investment, not because they're lazy, because they've decided their attention is worth more than approval. The fourth profile is the most psychologically sophisticated and the hardest to understand from the outside. These people have a strong, stable internal sense of self, and external validation loops don't just fail to help them, they actively destabilize them. Think about what happens when you post something and it performs well. For most people, dopamine, pride, a small rush. For this type, something closer to discomfort, like something private has just been redistributed without their permission. Likes don't build them, comments don't define them. And here's the key thing. It's not that they don't care about connection. They care deeply. They just source it completely differently, through deep relationships, meaningful work, a self-concept that was never up for public vote. They haven't opted out of life. They've opted out of the metric. Now, here's what all 4 of these profiles look like in everyday life. See if any of this sounds familiar. Your camera roll is full. Your profile is almost empty. The photo was never meant for anyone else. It was just for you. You feel a quiet unease watching people document everything in real time. Not judgment, more like confusion. Why would you hand that moment over before you've even finished living it? When you do occasionally post something, you second-guess it for hours, sometimes days. And if it gets more attention than you expected, something uncomfortable happens. Not pride, a sudden urge to take it down. And you've been told more than once that you're hard to read, that people don't know what's going on with you, that you're an enigma. They mean it as a compliment. You receive it as a quiet confirmation that the boundary is working. Here's the reframe. In a world that has monetized visibility, where the algorithm rewards constant exposure, where self-promotion has become a survival skill, where the pressure to perform your own life is relentless, your refusal to participate is not a flaw. It is a form of psychological sovereignty. You decided, consciously or not, that your experiences belong to you first, that a moment doesn't need an audience to have value. that your identity is not a content strategy. And what that creates is something increasingly rare, an interior life the algorithm never got to touch. The people who don't post aren't absent, they're present, just somewhere the metrics can't reach. And in ways that matter more than numbers, that might be exactly where the richest life is lived. Are you a lurker? Or do you finally understand someone who is? Drop it in the comments.